talk about somebody he about that life, man. Nobody not worrying about his old ass. He need to sit back and let the young.
Gervonta Davis has a long memory, and with Bernard Hopkins' recent departure from Golden Boy Promotions, the Tank seized the perfect opportunity to take a jab at him for last year's incident.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I was talking to Bernard right now.
Tank even took it a step further by trolling the entire Golden Boy Promotions, declaring it's never been a good place for boxers. Recently, Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins had a heated argument that escalated to the point where De La Hoya ended up firing his longtime business partner from Golden Boy Promotions. This fallout has turned Bernard Hopkins into a laughingstock among many boxing fans and professionals, including Davis, who delivered a well-timed verbal jab. Oscar De La Hoya was recently asked in an interview about Canelo Alvarez's accusations of him cheating his fighters.
I'm not a female. I have the proofs. I have proofs. I put my lawyers in.
Hoya initially dismissed Canelo Alvarez's accusations as baseless, claiming that Canelo loves to talk trash and even attempted to steal money. "I have proof. What are you doing? I don't want to do anything," De La Hoya said, brushing off the allegations as he typically would. However, when reminded of Canelo's statement about having evidence of how he was duped by De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, the situation took a serious turn. In response, De La Hoya made a remark that would soon lead to the end of his nearly two-decade partnership with Bernard Hopkins. Frustrated, he said, "That kind of guy, I don't even give it _ about those." This marked the beginning of their feud. Addressing Canelo's claims, De La Hoya stated, "I don't know about his proof, but if there's anything concrete, it'll be on Bernard's side. I'm clean on my part, and I can't speak for anyone else." Professionals have stopped expecting anything right from him. While his career as a fighter left fans with great memories, as a promoter, he seems to be erasing them. Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, two legendary figures in boxing, once shared a partnership that many believe would redefine the sport's promotional landscape. But recent events have shown that even the most promising collaborations can crumble under the weight of internal strife and public scrutiny. The recent fallout between De La Hoya and Hopkins has not only shaken the foundations of Golden Boy Promotions, but has also sent ripples through the boxing community, leading to widespread speculation and controversy. The tension between De La Hoya and Hopkins had been simmering for some time, but it reached a boiling point when De La Hoya dismissed Canelo Alvarez's accusations of unfair treatment. Canelo, a former Golden Boy fighter and one of the sport's biggest stars, claimed that De La Hoya had cheated him out of money. Oscar, in typical fashion, shrugged off the allegations, stating that Canelo was simply trying to stir up trouble. However, when reminded of Canelo's assertion that he had evidence to back up his claims, De La Hoya's nonchalance quickly turned to concern. In a moment that would ultimately lead to the dissolution of their nearly two-decade-long partnership, De La Hoya made a flippant remark. "That kind of guy, I don't even give it _ about those." This a fan comment marked the beginning of the end for the collaboration that had once seemed unbreakable. Shortly after De La Hoya's dismissive remarks, Bernard Hopkins was asked about the situation in an interview. It became clear that Hopkins had only just been informed of De La Hoya's comments. Rather than offering a typical response, Hopkins delivered a comeback that no one expected from someone who had been a loyal partner for so long. Hopkins asked the interviewer a pointed question. "Whose name do fighters always call whenever there are issues at Golden Boy Promotions?" The implication was clear. Oscar De La Hoya was the common denominator in the many disputes that had arisen within the company. Hopkins continued, "Canelo mentioned his name, not mine. I'm usually not in the midst of chaos. If there are problems, ask him. He's the Golden Boy." This line of questioning was more than just a defense of his own reputation. It was a calculated move to place the blame squarely on De La Hoya. Hopkins' words resonated with many in the boxing community who had long suspected that De La Hoya was at the center of the controversies plaguing Golden Boy Promotions. Adding fuel to the fire was the incident involving Gervonta Davis. Davis, who had his own issues with Golden Boy Promotions during the build-up to his fight against Ryan Garcia, had little sympathy for the deteriorating relationship between De La Hoya and Hopkins. In an interview, Davis made it clear that he wasn't concerned about the split, but was relieved for the fighters who would have been ruined if the partnership had continued. "They run nonsense stuff together, and I'm glad fighters can escape from their mess," Davis said, making it clear that he had no love lost for either De La Hoya or Hopkins. He even went so far as to troll Golden Boy Promotions, criticizing them for having one of the worst stables in boxing. The final straw in the De La Hoya-Hopkins partnership came after a Golden Boy fighter secured one of the most controversial wins of the year. The victory, which many fans and professionals felt was undeserved, raised serious questions about the integrity of Golden Boy Promotions. The backlash was immediate, and it was clear that the organization was facing a crisis of credibility. In the aftermath of the fight, Hopkins was quick to distance himself from the controversy. He challenged the narrative that was being pushed by De La Hoya, stating that if there were any issues, they were not on his side. "I'm keen on my part, and I can't speak for anyone else," Hopkins said, making it clear that he was not willing to be implicated in any wrongdoing. This statement, coupled with the growing tensions between the two men, led to an explosive confrontation that ultimately ended with De La Hoya firing Hopkins from Golden Boy Promotions. The decision was met with shock and disbelief by many in the boxing community who had seen the partnership as one of the most stable and successful in the sport. To understand the significance of this split, it's important to look back at how the partnership between De La Hoya and Hopkins began. On September 18, 2004, Bernard Hopkins delivered a devastating body shot that knocked Oscar De La Hoya out in the 9th round of their undisputed middleweight title fight. It was the first knockout loss of De La Hoya's professional career, and it was a moment that would go down in boxing history. But rather than ending their relationship, the fight led to an unexpected alliance. Just a few months later, in November 2004, it was announced that Hopkins had joined Golden Boy Promotions. The partnership allowed Hopkins to continue his career into his 40s and early 50s, earning him the nickname The Alien for his longevity and success in the ring. For years, the collaboration between De La Hoya and Hopkins seemed to be a match made in heaven. Hopkins used his platform to elevate Golden Boy Promotions, and in turn, the company provided him with the resources and support he needed to extend his legendary career. The final blow to the partnership came in the form of a shocking allegation involving Gervonta Davis. During the build-up to his fight with Ryan Garcia, Davis and his team accused Bernard Hopkins of attempting to sabotage the fight by rubbing testosterone cream on Davis' back in an effort to taint his drug test. Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, promoted this theory on social media, claiming that Hopkins had intentionally tried to undermine Davis. "Coach, beware of Hop and testosterone cream," Ford warned in a text message shared on Instagram. The allegation caused an uproar in the boxing community and further strained the already fragile relationship between Hopkins and De La Hoya. In response to the accusation, Hopkins denied any wrongdoing, but the damage had already been done. The incident only served to deepen the rift between the two men and solidify the perception that their partnership was beyond repair. The split between Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins marks the end of an era in boxing. What began as a promising partnership built on mutual respect and shared goals has ended in bitterness and betrayal. For many, the fallout between these two legends is a reminder that even the strongest alliances can be brought down by ego, miscommunication, and a failure to address underlying issues. As Golden Boy Promotions moves forward without Hopkins, the company faces an uncertain future. With its reputation tarnished and its leadership in question, it remains to be seen whether Golden Boy can recover from this latest setback. Meanwhile, Hopkins' departure signals a new chapter in his storied career, one in which he may seek to forge his own path, free from the shadow of his former partner. For fans and professionals alike, the breakup of De La Hoya and Hopkins is a cautionary tale about the fragility of partnerships in the high-stakes world of boxing. And as the dust settles, the sport is left to wonder what could have been if these two giants had managed to keep their egos in check and their eyes on the prize.